All right, what's up, guys? Today is July 14th, Friday, July 14th, middle of the month already, halfway through the year. So it's pretty crazy just to think about that. But anyways, let's talk about my couple plays that I took today. ACIA was actually on the gap scanner, gap down. I think it has some bad news regarding their guidance and earnings, but I see my Fibonacci's here. I was looking for the 50% retracement at first, but I was very, very careful with the ICIA. And the only reason I was careful is that on May 12, I believe it was May 12, they had a similar move. I guess it was this day. This day they actually reported, but what I did is I went back on demand and I studied that gap down, and it did the similar move. It actually ended up pretty much spiking up at the open, and that's exactly what it did this morning. So, I just pretty much saved myself from a short squeeze had I gone in at the open. Um, so what I decided just to be patient, and then what I noticed here that it had filled the gap, and it was starting to top here at 42.61. On the 5 minute candle, it was showing the doji candle. So I was waiting for the crack of the VWAP, and it cracked. So I ended up going short here, and then within the next candle, I was already out. And my whole plan was for this to bounce off the opening and maybe continue higher, but obviously it didn't do that. Continue lower, but I went in with size, and I like these plays because within 5-10 minutes I'm out, and so actually it turned out a very good play. The other one that I went in right away was NTNX. NTNX, I have a hard time figuring this one out, but what I liked about this one in the bullish terms is that it broke through this resistance. It's been holding this 2137 resistance for a long time. It finally broke through it. Now it's also a golden ratio that I have here, and so right now it's just kind of battling against this resistance level. So when I first went in, I went in at the open. I was going for short based on the money ball. I mean the dropping dimes. I was setting my stop loss over 2234. I went in short here. I think it was around 2180 something. It gave me a chance to get out. I didn't get out. I guess I was expecting this to fill the gap, and it didn't do that. It started holding, ended up stopping me out up here, 2214. Then I decided to go for a long. I think I went for a long around here, 2201, and I'm actually willing to hold this for a swing play. I won't be surprised if it comes and retests this 2138 or even down to almost 2075 area for retest. I'm willing to hold through that. Again, it's going to be a swing play. Um, and let's see how that one turns out. Unless it pays me today, then I'll get out. The other one I went in was JP Morgan. JP Morgan, what I liked is that the gap was about 3%. And the other thing that I like, if you look at the daily candle, I mean daily chart, it's holding this uptrend. So I was long bias and need to adjust it a little bit more. But I was long bias because of this trend here. And so right when it came and retested the 90, 70 area, I went in long for a long here around 91. And something that I did different today is that I added to my winner. So once it came back up here, tested 91.73, and it made this bull flag, I ended up adding way more here, and I got out at 91.80 something because I know there's resistance here. And at first, it was starting to ramp up a little bit, and I thought I left a lot of money on the table, but it looks like it was a great exit because then the resistance still holding. The other thing about JP Morgan now it's that it's uptrending here too. So it's a big bank, big company. So a lot of people see this as a buying opportunity when it drops, especially a lot of investors. So the first thing they see is it's down 3%, and they see it like, oh, it's cheaper than it was yesterday. So that was my whole thesis with that one. Which one did I play? Oh, CYBR. CYBR was actually it was kind of scary at first. This one, same thing. I went back to his history with his gaps, and I was expecting, yeah, to come to this area here, and exactly came to 44 to 44.50, and with some more room to 45.86 because of the 50% retracement. But once I started to see that it started to top out and was making lower highs, I ended up going for a short. I took a small position at first. I think it was about 100 shares here. And then once it started dropping more and bounced, I think I added about another, I think it was 200, 300 shares. The only problem was that I held through all this, so I kind of give myself a round of applause because this thing just when you see it on time and sells and live, it just boom, man, this thing was bombing. So I was like, oh shit, it's gonna squeeze everybody. But my stop loss was 44. I had an alert. I stuck through this, and when it came back down and dropped, I was like, okay, that's a very good sign that the bears are in control. Came down here, gave me a chance to get out. Came retested this trend, and then once it finally started getting down here, I ended up trailing it, and I think it stopped me out on this candle here. It gave us another opportunity to take more profits down here, about another 30 cents, but I guess just I had a trader fatigue because through all this movement it causes trader fatigue, and you just want to get out of the play. Because I was in profit here, then I was profit here, it bounces against me. The next opportunity I get for a profit, I get out. So that's probably something I need to work on is my trader fatigue. But that's it. I am holding other swing plays, but one of them is actually T. I mentioned that yesterday. My entry was here like around 103, so I'm sitting comfortable on profit now. But the only thing that I'm starting to be concerned about the S&P 500 and QQQ is that QQQ there's some resistance here at 108 area, and also S&P it's starting to double top now. I'll take that back. It broke out. Nice. Okay. So as long as the S&P 500 pops on Monday and then drops again and retests the 245 to 244 area, we'll be good for another push to the upside. But at the same time, we got to be careful because this could be considered a double top. And the other thing that I don't like so much is that usually I have my scanner, and when all this is red, we usually have a big pullback. So I'm gonna be really careful with my swing plays. Um, take my profit when they're available. But other than that, I'm still in a couple plays, so let's see how the rest of the day plays out. Talk to you guys later.